Alright, we're all good? Excellent. Welcome back to Sakura Wars. Everyone, I understand it's weird to say this when the clock literally just hit 7:01, but sorry for the slightly late start there. I had to update my PS4. I probably didn't have to, but I was slightly worried about what would happen if I didn't. That is exactly how I plan to return places at any point, just saying, hello, I have returned. Immediately, Azumi is just, everything she does is perfect. Look at those shoes. I mean, in these outfits, I don't think you have much room to talk, Anastasia. Honestly, even in her normal outfit, she doesn't have much room to talk. She tried to kill me. It hurts. It hurts, Azumi. You see, in the first game, it was Ogami's job to do the night patrols of the theater. Look at that. Anastasia's already got a plaque for her door. It's not even like one of those slide-in, like, paper strips. Like, that is a full carved metal plaque. I'm glad that they subtitled. Oh! I thought that was snow for a second. I was like, well, they messed up like a weather effect that's inside. Guys. She jumped up. Where could she have possibly gone? Okay. So this is a weird thing to have, like, the first thing we had going on. Okay, first of all, YouTube is telling me it's telling me no data is being received, yet it's giving me the green light and I can see the stream. So I don't know what that is all about. Anyway, so the original Sakura Wars had a lot of little mini games you could play with each of the characters. With Koran, the one I ended up dating, her mini game was Koi Koi or Hanafuda. And they expanded that. That's the only one they brought forward, and they expanded it a lot. So now you can now play against everybody in the game. Hopefully this tutorial isn't going to force me to actually fight Sakura, because I've taken her down before. So do you know anything about how to play Hanafuda? I would actually recommend reading this, because it's not a game I imagine too many Western gamers are familiar with. And it can be a little bit of a problem. Okay. Look at that. A whole bunch of characters unlocked on New Game Plus. Which is so weird, I can't imagine like what the problem is, because with the ones you don't have, it tells you like, this is the condition to unlock them as an opponent. With all of these characters I just unlocked, their only condition was continue the story. But this is a lot of characters to only be unlockable on New Game Plus. Which is weird. Okay, so while we're here, I feel like I might as well show off the game. Because if you're going for that, platinum trophy, you are going to have to beat every single opponent. Now, thankfully, they don't distinguish by difficulty. You can play it on the easier practice mode, and you're fine. Now, I am not about to explain how to play this game. Basically, it's I have a hand, I throw them down on the cards that are highlighted, so don't ever expect me to try and play this game like knowing what any of the like without the computer assistance. And you want to try and get certain sets of cards in order to have a hand that's worth any good number of points. I can do that too, in case I need to know what every single area is. I'm also allowed to hit triangle at any point to check what sets of cards are worth anything. And I can also change the song. New music. Wow, I can spend money on this instead of... I would not... You might be like, okay, cool, I can spend the money you get in the in the game to unlock new songs. Do not do that yet, because you are also going to need that Mon, it's the currency, to unlock new opponents. Let's go with the default. My general strategy is I always like to prioritize getting the ribbon cards, because those are worth a decent number of points without too much effort. If not, then the seed cards, which aren't worth much, but they're not super hard to get, are a good alternative. And for the most part, I'm picking up junk all along the way, which you have to have 10 junk cards in order. God damn. Look, she already got something worth 3. That's pretty good. But we're early in the game, so of course she's going to go for Koi Koi, which is kind of like a double or nothing. It's a chance to get more points, but it also gives me the ability to snipe it out from under her. Unfortunately, I don't have too much to work with. So this might be a first round loss. It's fine. The first game had it where it was like you had to win a certain amount of points in a certain number of rounds. This one is just I have to deplete their points no matter how long it takes, which is a bit easier to work with. Of course, since I know she's already got Sakura viewing up, as if I can get any hand, I just kind of have to take it. But we're running low on cards in the deck. Thankfully, it doesn't look like she's got much to work with either, but I don't think I can't. So unless I get lucky with what comes from the deck. Okay, well I did, but it didn't give me anything. All right, but since she went for the Koi Koi, she gave up her chance to get the Sakura viewing points. Since we both exhausted our hands, I get the dealer's advantage, which is really not worth much, but hey. It not only prevents me from losing any points this round, but it means I get to stay as dealer, which means dealer's advantage is always going to be mine to lose. Let's see here. The general rule is you want to try and grab the cards that look fancier, because those are usually worth more points. Yep, I'll go with that one. That was a good starting hand. I got 4 cards and none of them are junk. Yep, another ribbon. Wow, that's actually giving me a pretty good round here. Ooh, nice. I got with a poetry ribbon too. That's damn good. Honestly, the problem with the computer is I don't know if the computer's cheating or whatever, but they have a good chance of getting cards from the deck that they can't possibly predict. Ooh, and that one gave me... Okay, any ribbon... Okay, it's just any ribbons, though. That's only worth 1. I think I'll have to go for some Koi Koi. Because I've at least got a chance to try and grab a couple, like another card at least. There we go. I love those slaps when you get a good hand. So now I got 4 lights, which that should be worth a good number of points. There we go. Hey guys, I won the game already. That is the fastest game of Koi Koi I've ever had. Even on games where I've gotten trounced, it's taken me longer than 2 rounds. Oh, that was amazing. I'm so glad that was the game I got to show off on stream. Not only means we didn't waste much time here, but I look like I am a card game pro. Excellent. And I got some good moan for it. Punch the hole on my card. Only 5 more until I can get a free sandwich. Nope, that's fine. The only reason to rematch them is, unless you just like playing Hanafuda, is just to grind moan. But honestly, I feel like that's not super hard. It's not super hard. Like, even when I had limited numbers of opponents, I managed to get enough to buy the couple opponents that were locked behind it. So look, I'll still have 10 left if I want to just unlock Komachi now. But why do that when I still have 3 opponents I can fight? And you can play this at any time from your menu, your card game, your phone menu. It's also in the main menu, which confuses me because, like, is it tied to a specific save file? Like, how do they know which opponents you've beaten? This is amazing. It's almost like taking Sakura on in real life. It was so realistic, I couldn't even tell it was Sakura. Alright, you do that. Wow, yeah, I didn't even... There's a running gag throughout the game that Sakura keeps misspelling messages in her texts. I legitimately, a lot of the time, don't even notice it. Like, I didn't see that applesauce thing. I knew the basic gist of the message, so I just read Apprentice. Okay, there's some other stuff to do, but first things first, there was some bromides I gotta collect. There we are. Yeah. There she is, guys. I was talking about how Koran was the girl I romanced in the first game. There she is. She's beautiful. Let's see here. There's one down there. That's it. Okay, no, there's one in the back hall. Alright. Yeah, there's like 3 in every movement phase you have to collect. So anyway, Koi Koi is important for if you want to get the Platinum Trophy, you have to beat every opponent. I will not subject you guys to that. I just wanted to show you that it's in the game, and I will be doing all of that stuff off screen, along with one other grinding thing that has not been introduced yet. For you, okay. Sure, why not? 3 books, okay. Stars of the Imperial Theater, 50 Years of Ginza, Secrets of Choreography. No timer on this one, thankfully. And it was only 3, and they just told us, so that's fine. It's Stars of the Imperial Theater. Now this one. See, now this one's actually the Yakuza spin-off that's going to be coming out. If for whatever reason Sega goes crazy and decides to make a Yakuza Battle Royale game, this should 100% be the title. Honestly, I know you're trying to recommend me books, Claris, but that Yakuza one sounds more interesting. I've never played Yakuza. At the very least, I should play like Yakuza 0. Look at that. She looks so impressed. Like, it's 3 books. I can remember titles. So, any more books that piqued your interest? Yeah, that Yakuza one. So now I think Claris has the completely wrong idea on how you recommend things to people. You don't consider their personality and think like, oh, I think you'd like this. You just tell them to watch the things you like because it gives you something to talk about, even if it's a really weird choice. Which is why if for whatever reason I remade that top 10 gateway anime series video, that terrible video I did a long time ago, if I ever redid that, I can 100% guarantee you the number 1 recommendation would be interspecies reviewers. What are you still doing here? The doors are locked. Does Itsuki live here? Does she have a home? I love Itsuki's theme so much. There's a vocal version that I really enjoy. I can't tell you the name because it's a spoiler. But the instrumental theme that's playing now is good too. It's just got this real catchy up-tempo beat. It's not a upbeat tempo, I think is rather. That'd be great. A newspaper article could give us a big publicity boost, like if like people somehow don't know who we are. Look at those leggings that just have like diamonds missing in them. Yes, don't you have to go home? Yeah, that's Naitsuki. Komachi, what's up? How you doing? Not a speck of dust, yeah, but I do see plenty of other like scrapes in the wood. What the hell's that? Even you look stunning here? Like, what do you mean, even you? She is easily the most radiant part of the shop. Oh, see, they're telling me this is a new picture, but do I have this one already? I can check. Let's see. It's like Azumi, sort of like running forward. Yeah, it's this one right here. I have it already. Let's see. Claris and Anastasia ones are the ones I'm mostly missing. I'm missing Sakura ones too. This is the problem. I'm really not sure like which ones I have or don't have already. So I don't really have too much else I can do, but just buy them. Hope that it's like one I don't already have. Alright, well, I'll buy this one of Claris. I'm less likely to have ones of Claris, so why not? See, the thing is, like, when she runs out of stock and I go to talk to her again, they have a, bot-owned sticker over them, so you can't buy them again. It'd be really nice if in New Game Plus that was there for ones you actually have already bought. That way I could focus strictly, and if, the bromides that are on the ground should only be the ones that are on the ground that I haven't gotten already. Like, it's not very... Despite the fact that, like, your progress carries over, it doesn't do a very good job at letting you know which ones it was. I guess there's only so many things that they could patch in after player feedback, because, just out of curiosity, I was looking at the 1.01 update notes for the game. It was really extensive. Master. Ooh, Master. I have to kind of give her a name. I loved that little detail of her eyes sort of darting around as she's thinking about it. Didn't know you'd gotten so chummy already. It's almost like I was dating her in another life. And that line there, it took me a second to realize, like, oh, she doesn't mean literally. Like, she's just talking like little sister figuratively. Yeah. So anyway, I was looking at the update notes. I mentioned last week, like I had read before, that the updates included like control changes, the ability to lock on in combat, like things that really do feel like they should have been there in the original release of the game. That's not it. That's not all of it. Remember how at the end of last week I just saved the game, quit, came back in, and now I can come right back in here? That was not in the original release of the game. The save and load functions were added in a patch. Prior to this point, the only way you could save the game was at an intermission. And I know that's how the original game worked, probably all the older ones. But, like, damn. The segments between intermissions go on a lot longer in this game than they did in the original, so having the ability to save whenever is really nice. Anything else? Nope. Cool. Yeah, so let's see how Sakura is doing getting to be Anastasia's applesauce. I do have to wonder what those typos looked like in the Japanese version. All right, I'll give you a tip here because it's the mistake I made on my first playthrough. Don't say name your price. If you do, Anastasia is offended and it's like, you think I'm the kind of woman that'll do anything for money? And I'm just thinking, like, I selected it because I did not necessarily mean monetarily. Like, there are other ways to make transactions. And she's a beautifully detailed character model, but they clearly did not put too much effort into her belly button. Alright, I guess we'll head to bed now. And I mentioned this last week, but I'll reiterate here. Keep in mind these events like walk around the theater at night and see what everyone's doing. In the original game, that was strictly a there's a lot of new events that just opened up. Am I sure there's no new bromides? Doesn't look like it. Okay. But in the original game, they did not give you any sort of indication on which rooms they were in, and you only had a limited number of rooms to check before it automatically progressed. Piano's out of tune. Oh, that's not a problem. You can't. That's a real problem. You can't tune a piano, but you can tune a fish. Tuning a piano on that is sort of the kind of thing I could not do. As unlikely as it is, I would never be able to shake the image of, like, the wire snapping and whipping you across the face and, like, taking out your eye. That idea freaks me out and I don't like it. Guitars have a similar thing. And that's why I don't play any instrument. Music just ain't my thing. Look at that one strand of hair that's going down the middle of her face, creating like a outline segment around her eye. Gotta cut your hair, Anastasia. I finally got a haircut for the first time in months a couple days ago. Prior to then, my bangs were long enough I could get them into my mouth. It's a lot shorter now, so that's good. I no longer have to constantly, like, use my hand to flick my hair out of the way of my eyes. Alright. There's nothing else to do in here. There's just one point I only realized a little bit ago I just want to make a note of. That is, quite a bit around the back that outfit is showing. Okay, that's all I had to say. Hello again, Osmi. She just hasn't left since the last time I was here. I can sleep when I'm dead. You can very much question her on her outfit. It's weird, both this one and her default one. But if you do, it's like, you're like, that outfit isn't stuff. You stand out. That's like you can't be a ninja standing out like that. She gets real defensive and is like, well, no, if you're wearing black, then that's just telling everyone, hey, I'm a ninja. And it's like, well, yeah, the purpose of wearing black is so you're not seen in the first place in the night. I understand the idea of a plainclothes ninja, but she is still dressing up real fancy and eye-catching. Oh, I've never seen this dialogue. That is actually very sad. Many potatoes perished. I have not heard a story as sad since the Tomato Town Massacre. In case you couldn't tell by my name, Liam, I'm Irish. I feel a very strong connection to the potatoes. And now we can be introduced. Now we're introduced to another running thing throughout the game. I mean, technically we saw it a little bit before, but this is the full introduction to it. And it's something that has very much been in the series since day one. I completely missed every single instance of it in the first game, so this is my only experience with it. But yes, throughout the game, the girls will be in the bath, and how you decide to deal with that is completely up to you. Of course I'm leering. Listen, out of my way to check this place, I could have been on the way downstairs to talk to my good friend Reiji. So, she is in the bath. I understand I just made a promise, but I don't have to keep it, you know? On my first playthrough, I deliberately avoided the bath anytime someone was in there, not because I'm like, oh, no, that's wrong. It was literally just me being counterculture against common ecchi tropes. I'm like, oh, no. Man, looking at the woman in the bath, like, I will not even humor it. But I completely ignored it on my first playthrough. I think I've deserved my second chance. She's in the bath. I'm out of here. I love the way that doesn't even have any hesitation in there. It's like, I'm out of here. Like, I ain't even interested. All right, now let's see how stealthy I can be. Huh. Well, this didn't go so well. Would it be wrong if I said yes? Okay, come on. You could have absolutely made that way better. Like, she could have hit him hard enough to, like, send him through the wall, leaving a perfect person-shaped outline. Like, come on, play around a little bit. And the interesting thing is, despite the fact that, like, she catches you and is clearly not happy about it, you don't lose trust points with anyone for doing this. That actually really surprised me. Like, it feels like that should be the biggest loss of all. But I guess Sega was like, yeah, listen, we know you guys are going to do it. So, hey, whatever. Now, here's a new icon. It kind of looks like a heart. It's a little bit weird and stylized. That's because it's specifically talking about one nice new little feature for this game. These are called tits. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I think it's French. It's got accent marks in there. I don't really know how to do it, but it's these first-person segments where you look around the room and you make conversation based on what you're looking at. If you're kind of stuck, you can, his Kamiyama's inner thoughts at the bottom will tell you, give you hints as to what you should be doing. And this is probably going to be our only chance, and then one of a few chances to see the characters in their normal outfits. This one honestly, the thing about these is they're kind of limiting. Like, they don't always give you that many options to select. Like you saw prior to now, like, I could look at the sewing machine, I could look at the posters, but when I first came in here, the only thing I was allowed to do immediately was talk to Sakura. So now that I look at it, Sakura's in all these pictures, like way up, I can't see. Yeah, and no, you're not allowed to tilt the camera at all. This took me a little while to figure out, but you can hold down R2 to make the cursor move faster. Now the question is, should they ever port this game to PC, will they just give you mouse control for these sections? Or is it going to be like one of those really lazy PC games where they're like, hey, you are only allowed to use a controller. Like the PC version of the Alliance Alive, you can't even use a keyboard and mouse. Like, it is strictly, you gotta plug in a controller or you can't play it. And that's absolutely crazy and against the spirit of PC gaming, I feel. Like, even if it's terrible, like, you just mapped controller buttons to a keyboard. Like, in order to rotate the camera, you gotta use, like, the numpad. You can't use the mouse. Even if that's the case, like, listen, you gotta do something. The only other way around that would be, like, using X360 CE to map your keyboard to controller inputs, which very well could cause more problems than it solves. I don't know. Maybe don't buy Alliance Alive on PC. Get it on another platform. Buy it. It's a great game. I streamed it last year. But maybe not on PC. There's a mobile version of the game now. Only in Japan, though. I wouldn't be surprised if that never comes out in the US. But at the same time, like, they have the script. They could very easily do it. I have to imagine that a Western release of the Alliance Alive on iOS and Android, like, that's gotta be, like, they sell a couple copies of that a month. Because it's a game that, like, nobody knows on a platform when it's been available in plenty of other places. and not the kind of game that most people want to play on a mobile device. Now, the one thing about these segments I don't really like is the fact that you could probably tell by the heart icon that indicates that it's here, is that these are very much geared to be scenes that build romantic relationships with the characters. When it's this early on, that's sort of a weird thing to do, because I've barely got a chance to know these characters. And they can get kind of close to you. I can also do this. Now, this is one thing that I do think is missing from the old games. Like, just the general icons. Like, it's a... like, you know, speech bubble, magnifying glass to say I'm looking at stuff. They had, like, a light bulb for I had an idea. The original game had, like, a hand icon that would morph into different things when they were over certain parts of the screen. It was like if you were leaving the screen, it would like get down on its fingers and walk away. If you were talking to someone, it would like hold up its palm. There'd be a mouth on it. If you were looking at it, there'd be eyes, like stuff like that. And if you specifically wanted to look somewhere pervy, it turned into like a face that was like looking side to side, shifty and smiling. I loved that sprite. Okay, that's not bad, though. I've actually never seen it like that before. So honestly, the first time I was playing these, like, even this early in the game, I knew, like, yeah, I'm not going to go for Sakura. Like, at this point, I was probably still thinking I'd be going for Hatsuho. So, like, she's, like, getting real close to me, trying to be sort of emotionally intimate. And I'm just, like, trying to get through these, like, as routinely as possible to try and say, like, I'm not interested. Now, please back off a little bit. Take a couple steps away. Social distancing. There's honestly some part of me that has to wonder if they do make a sequel to this game. Is that going to be the plot? Like, there's a pandemic that's sweeping Tokyo, and now like the theater has trouble staying open. Why isn't there a distinct comment about her ribbon? Brooch. I don't know what a snail would want with a brooch. Oh, good save there, Kamiyama. Like, yeah, I was totally looking at that. Don't worry. I mean, honestly, in a kimono tightly wrapped as that, when she doesn't have that much going on, ain't really too much else to look at around there. I'm sorry, Sakura. They still give me the option, like, I can look. This you can lose trust points on. Depending on the character, though. Like, I happen to have looked at a couple other things, at like a guide for one of these at one point, a little bit. And in some cases, you can be pretty pervy and you never lose points with them. Like, some of them just don't get as bent out of shape about it. Okay, now I'm allowed to look at the ribbon. See, she's still got the bow, like the original Sakura did, but she's wearing it differently. Yeah, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna say it. See, now I just want to do it more. Yeah. So despite the fact that I got to the determination thing a long time ago by talking about her eyes, I have to, like, tell her how much I like every single other thing about her before I get to this. And just getting into that, I felt more and more like I was being railroaded into being romantic with Sakura. And honestly, with most of the other characters, but even outside the scene, this game definitely feels like it's railroading you for Sakura. Which again, that's exactly why I picked Azumi on my first playthrough, counterculture. Also, Azumi is legitimately my favorite. And as we see more and more of her, you will understand exactly why. Too close. This is how every single one of these sections ends. Like, seriously. Absolutely. Games like this more and more need to have options of, like, please calm down. Like, I should absolutely have the ability to not exactly let her down gently. Like, she's just came up close to me. Like, I should have the ability to push her away and see, like, please give me my space. Please get away from me. Now, just in case you were worried about mood whiplash, don't worry. These sections only open up if the character's at a certain trust level with you. Like, they can't hate you and then get into this sort of thing. But of course, since we're super early in the game, Sakura doesn't have to be that much into you for this to happen. But the ones later on, you have to be pretty high on. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I got every single one of them on my first playthrough, though I maxed out everybody. So it's not that hard to do. See, I should absolutely have the ability to just say, like, hey, please. I did not agree to saying this. Like, I was just looking at it. You're bringing it even further, Kamiyama. Mad if I stroked it? Would she be mad if I did pull on her ribbon? Listen, if you're standing that close, it's taking a lot of effort to resist not pulling on that ribbon. God, how much do I have to compliment you? And you're not really too much one to talk here, Sakura. You see those cheeks? Okay, that face is good though. So you can usually give them the arm. They usually can end with, like, kissing them if you really want to go all the way. But no, I'm not though. Your hand is still right in front of your face. I'm not holding it. Unless I looked at that hand and thought about holding it. And was like, no, okay, I'm actually going to go for the other one. Say anything. And again, I can very much just be definitive here. Be like, we are a couple. But no. Seriously, man. Is it time to walk away? Listen, yeah, the love is in the air tonight, alright? Back off, man. We done here. I've been here for 20 minutes. Oh, I can poke her cheeks, though. That's good. Let's do that. Okay, alright. Sequel idea. Can I please see his hands when all of this is going on? Alright? Okay, I literally have no option now but to stroke her hair. Fine. See, this has nothing to do with, like, I want to. There's nothing to do with like I love you. Your hair's a mess. I'm trying to fix it. You got a bit of a case of bedhead going on here, Sakura. Which isn't honestly that unusual in this game, because Azumi also has quite a bit of bedhead. Okay, we done now. See, all of that stuff was getting out of here with the least amount of romance possible. You know what? I'm going to be soft. Seemed to like it, though. Now, granted, I could have maxed it out and just yelled it in her face, which would have been great. Like, you've got that sparkle in your eye. Just like Sakura Shinguje! Just do what I do when I have problems. Scream! Oh. Yeah, and this is how you get, like, some of the Kamiyama ones. And they got that one made up pretty fast. And now I think we're done. Yep, alright, we set. Oh, what now? Ooh, so mock. Alright. Yeah, it means I'm moving fast. Oh, look at that icon down right next to my door. Looks like my room has good Wi-Fi. That's good. It's very important. Alright, everyone, how are we doing? Okay, looks like they're all generally pretty happy with me. Azumi seems very happy with me. Very important. I have not added anyone else to it. I promise you guys, I'm going to get Kaoru in there. I have a guide open on my phone on what dialogue options I have to pick to make Kaoru like me. I'm gonna do it, man. After last night, I feel like I shouldn't go in there. The fuck? What the fuck, man? Listen, I'm cool with a little bit of mean humor, but least favorite incel? Man, come on. Third least favorite. That's better. See, you could have just said favorite, alright? I would have overlooked the incel part if I was at least your favorite. Oh, what's she think? Oh, they all suck. Every single one of them. Hey, great. Oh, I just realized I can't even demonstrate Azumi's bedhead. She's got the hood up. All right, now here, don't try and be nice. If you try and say, like, hey, auditions, they all get mad at you because you're like, dude, don't patronize us. Now you're my 5th favorite critic. Ooh, now that's high. That's high praise. I'm expecting if this conversation goes on that you're just going to keep pulling out increasingly wrong, weird numbers, and I'm cool with that. Like, you are now my 17.87th favorite person on YouTube. It's like, oh man, I can't hope to beat that. That's good. Excuse me. See, I have thought long and hard about this. I have made peace with myself. I do not think I count as an incel because I've now made the decision that I don't care. All right, what do you all think? It's like, you don't know the story of Princess Kaguya? It's like, of course I do. I've played Okami. Because for some reason, that's a plot point in Okami. Ancient astronaut theorist from History Channel. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. Like, can't expect her to step into a kabuki role out of the blue. As we find out later throughout the game, Anastasia is actually really big into kabuki theater. Which, of course, extends to she is a fan of the Xbox game Kabuki Warriors, making her the only fan of that game in the world. So we gotta figure out the ninja thing now. Man, real space case there, Claris. Books won't help. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, you're just making me realize, like, yeah, there's probably a bunch of people online nowadays that don't know that aliens meme. Like, wow. I'm old, and that upsets me greatly. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. I've never felt that Simpsons quote more than I do when talking about the internet. 90% of people 90% of people play this game to imitate this game to get a life. What? I think it's very clear that this game is fantasy. You see the way they're all dressed. Yeah, didn't you say you wanted to write a story? Okay. That's a different Rule 34 than the one I'm familiar with. Yeah, didn't you say you wanted to write a story, Claris? Then get on it. You got like 2 days. We're still working on that, like, we have a couple days before the World Games time frame, right? If you don't, I guess it's curtains. No pressure, though. Now, dude, you missed the card game section of the stream. I played Koi Koi once, and that's going to be it. I'll save all the rest of that for off-cam stuff. The current bet is we got 2 hours left on the stream. Is my controller battery going to last that long? Because I turned on the system, and it was at one bar. I don't know if it's at the high end of 1 bar or the lower end. Then we'll just punish you. Honestly, that's probably going to be my next playthrough of this game. Once I've gotten the Platinum Trophy, I know I have done everything in this game there is to do. I am just going to do a playthrough where I am the biggest asshole. Nah, I wouldn't say Yu-Gi-Oh! Their hairs honestly all look pretty normal. I mean, obviously, the costumes I have on aren't helping. So now I want to ask about this thing. Like, it can change your costumes. It's like a hologram projector that projects the costumes over you. So in order to not interfere with it, do you gotta be naked or something? Or do you just have to be wearing something that's like very, very small and wouldn't get in the way? Like, I'm just imagining like, oh god, a bit loud. I'm just imagining the episode of Futurama where Fry's playing the holophoner. When he gets distracted during the opera, all the stuff disappears and one of the actors is left in his underwear. I have Futurama on the mind because that's been most of my week, honestly. Going into the other room with my PSP, playing Final Fantasy IV, and having Futurama on the TV. It's good stuff. I think I'm getting close to being done with Final Fantasy IV. It's going to be great once I'm done with FF4, because the only thing I'm missing, once I'm done with that, the only game I own on the PSP I won't have finished is the other games on Final Fantasy IV. Like Interlude, which is like 2 hours long, so I can do that anytime. And After Years, which I'll probably play at some point, but maybe not anytime soon, because I hear it's not good. Alright guys, so here we go. It's finally time for us to get to leave the theater. It's close to the bus stop. Yeah, which bus stop? Buses generally have a lot of stops. I'm assuming he means like the bus stop you walk to from here to get onto the bus. But yeah, look at that. I can now start exploring. I'm gonna guess. Alright. Yes, do any moment. Alright, that's more important then. Oh, but first. Fine. Just want to get something done. Pretty sure you had the hots for a Mega Man. Once? What are you talking about? I had the hots for a Mega Man ZX character once. I still do. Several of them, in fact. Here we go. So here's our next character. I'll let her introduce herself. Very bright lipstick. Hakushu Murasame. She is Sakura's sword teacher, and she was designed by Shigenori Soejima of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. One year with each Mega Man installment. See, I would say that ZX was the worst of it. And then ZX character designer, director, and writer Makoto Yabe had to make it worse. He said in an interview at one point, like, if you look at any Mega Man character, especially in Zero and ZX, they basically all have on this dark blue bodysuit. Like, that is a key part of the character designs. Makoto Yabe said in an interview, yeah, that's actually just their skin. Like, by the time ZX comes around, humans and Reploids have gotten so close together that humans now have the ability to change their skin color, and they do that to be, fashionable. And so I guess, the bodysuit look is just fashion. And, you read that and you're like, oh, okay, that's how it works. All right, would you care to explain why Ash doesn't wear pants then? It's crazy. And first of all, I just disagree with him wholly because them wearing bodysuits is way harder than just it being bare skin. Has a habit of making terrible puns. In which case, I think we are going to get along just fine. Look at those puffy sleeves. Yeah, I'm sure she's perfectly trustworthy. She's not a character that's hiding something that is never going to be explained in this game. Well, we got to the guest, so anyway, gotta head back and get that bromide. So, what reason would I ever have to go into the wardrobe room if I wasn't just checking every single room looking for stuff? There it is. Oh, there she is. I was talking about, all Koran. She was my romance option in the first game. Khan is actually my favorite, though. I like Koran, but Khan is my favorite. She's 6'6" and muscular. Also a very chill person. Every single one of those is yes, please. Alright, let's see here. Okay, there they are. So I don't think bromides can start appearing outside the theater, but that might not be until you get access to every single area. There's Gray. Yeah, probably. Yep, what? Yeah, Atlas is very hot. Well, no, see, Atlas is not least horniest. She is hot as hell. She's my third favorite, beneath Ale and Ash. See, if we're talking least horniest, actually, no, you know what? I'm gonna say, yeah. So what if she wears pants? She's still hot. Anyway, if we're talking least horniest, I would say for both male and female, you can say it's Prometheus and Pandora. I mean, Pandora's not bad looking. Nasty show, Panda. Also, I'm not gonna lie to you. On Atlas's point, I like women with those deep husky voices. Like, have you heard Baiken's Guilty Gear Exard voice? Like, that is perfection. See, my love of Atlas is basically the same thing as I was saying about Kana. Like, she is a strong, muscular woman. Like, immediately, I'm here. I'm good. Okay, see, like, typing something out all caps for speech doesn't work when it's not voiced. Serpent, see, honestly, like, that scene towards the end of ZX where, like, Serpent is putting on Model W and, like, all of his clothes come off so he's just in that bodysuit, which, if we're taking Makoto Yabe's suggestion, that's just his skin. He's completely naked there. That man is built. I mean, if we're just talking ZX villains, he's more attractive than Master Albert. Why did my microphone, like, I thought I saw my microphone peak for a second. Like, I wasn't even talking. I was just leaning forward a little bit. How you doing? And I ordered 10 wind chimes, might have overshot it. I added a 1 and... You add a 1 and 2 zeros to that, or we're walking. Must have been trigger happy with the zeros. There were a couple extra. Were they at least after the decimal point? I imagine Kalu's got to be pissed at you for overshooting your money, like, way that much. Weaponize him. Absolutely. Yeah, 1,000 chimes all at once. It's going to be like that scene in The Simpsons where Bart speaks through like 20 megaphones at once. Ting-oing, oing, 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 oing. Oh, that's very hard to say. I'm just choosing to believe that Kamiyama says it all perfectly. Oh, God, I was really hoping that that would at least be a neutral option with her. See, I think selling him dirt cheap would just immediately get on her bad side. Listen, if we're going to weaponize 1,000 wind chimes, we could at least convert them into bullets or something. And Anastasia ones are probably the ones I likely don't have. I might have enough time to just completely buy this set, in which case we all good. You already have something else to say, Itsuki? Yeah, I just bought one, so I probably have a pretty good number now. Ooh, a super rare, and that's not ultra rare, but it's pretty good. I know some of my card collecting terms. Erica? Oh, see, that's the problem. I don't know anything about the cast of the third game, so I can't make any sort of a comment on which one's my favorite. Like, Erica's the only one I know. If you were asking me about the 5th game, I don't know that much about it. I could at least say it's Gemini. They're all icons. Erica, a lot more so of one, though. Actually, a fun little story I saw in Pixiv. Like, I was just looking through Sakura Wars pictures. Some guy was clearly very happy about Sakura Wars 3 hitting its 20th anniversary. To celebrate, he drew 200 pictures of Erica. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm laughing just thinking about it. Like, I understand. I'm pretty sure it was a guy who drew like a lot of Erica art, so very well. Some of the stuff in there could have just been like collection of art I'd drawn in the past, but it was still a gallery of 200 images. I left one just sitting on the floor in here. Or was it? Was it in this room? There it is. Over by the magazine rack. You know, with the blonde hair and all the birds, I think glasses? No, she didn't have glasses. Either way, the blonde hair, the forest setting, all the birds. I was just thinking a second of that bird girl from Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, who does literally nothing throughout that entire game. Like, why does that character exist? It's a lot like Anastasia from the MGS1, but she at least gave you good commentary on all the weapons. Like, whatever the bird collar girl's name in Peace Walker was, like, she could have 100% been cut from that story. Itsuki was going to get a journal to do an article. Yeah, last night. I think it's a little bit soon. Yeah. Man, I'm surprised they even spent more than half the article with talking about Anastasia, seeing as she's the headline part of it. I figured it would have been the entire thing, and I'm glad I walked all the way to the train station to read a newspaper. That was a good use of my time. There's no way I could have gotten a newspaper closer. Candy. Hello, hello. I guess not. Didn't even bother answering her. Alright, well, Kamiyami, you seem to be having trouble finding this magazine. I think I can tell you the first part of your problem. You're looking at books. Like, these are all very clearly books. If you're looking for a magazine, you're not going to find it here. Oh, look at all those wrinkles on the glove. Man, these books don't even have anything written on the spine. That's a problem. Dewey and his decimal system would be very displeased at this organization. I'm very curious. How many people that played this game do you think would be saying like, "Hey, yeah, Hiromi here is my favorite. It's my favorite girl." I'm sure there's someone. I just have a hard time picturing it. She's fine. I don't dislike her. I mean, I'd say, like, you really saved me is a little bit of an overstatement. Like, if he couldn't find it by himself, he could have asked the staff that actually works here. Oh, wow. Did you miss that? The one thing that is clearly labeled right near the entrance. Kamiyama's got a real short-term memory. Like, do you like Japanese sweets? I talked to her right before I came in here, behind the counter at the sweets shop. I think it's very clear that this is... that she's not just a fan. I can't help but give them discounts. At this point, they're eating for free. Please help me. I'm going broke. Kamiyama always does that finger point. She did say she was regular here, though honestly, the coincidence of her Azumi being here right after I was told she came here leads me to believe that Azumi might actually live here instead. She hasn't, please help me. She hasn't left in days. I didn't think we'd be seeing you so soon. Well, I mean, even if I wasn't coming in to shop, I'd probably walk by here anyway. It's just a lot of weird conversations going on here. She had less than usual, only 50 instead of 75. That's one of Azumi's character traits. She likes manju. Fine. At some point, I am very curious. You can get anything there. I don't want to make Azumi upset. See, I wish that one of the options, maybe that's what happens if you say I'll have to punish you, is he just starts pulling on her cheeks. You just put in an Azumi edit of that Konosuba scene of Kazuma pulling on Aqua's cheeks. Man, you keep a lot of secrets there, Azumi. There was nothing for her to jump to. She very well could be in the sky right now. See, this time, Azumi's jumping actually makes sense, because I can actually very well believe she just jumped onto the roof of a building. Not she jumped through the ceiling and completely disappeared, like a Fulton extraction in Peace Walker. It was Peace Walker, right? Where you could Fulton extract people inside of a building and the game didn't care. Oh, ooh, delicious. This one's particularly bad. Lemons. She somehow managed to misspell it in both the subject line and the message. Delicious lemons. So this is something that this game does where they have these like raids. I want to call it a raid event, but it's not at all anything like a raid event in like an MMO. It's just a small combat sequence, I guess, to break up the fact that this game doesn't have that much combat. They're doing a great job disguising it. But like, if they just wanted to have these small sections where they're reusing assets to give you a little bit more gameplay, that's fine. This game does not have that much gameplay. The problem is the fact they also barely do any of these. Like, there might be some... They're sort of, like, given to you randomly. Like, this one you always get at this point in the game. But it's possible that the other ones are sort of just given out randomly, and there might be one for each character. But I feel like I only got like 2 or 3 throughout my entire playthrough the first time, counting this one. And by the way, that flash attack where you, if they're below half health, you take them out, like while you're in the slow time. Kamiyama is the only one that can do that, so that's all the more reason to just play as Kamiyama. We're gonna get her a copy of we're gonna get Sakura a copy of Mario Teaches Typing with the best rap song you ever heard. Legitimately, if you've never heard it, look up the, Tell they made morale, I only got an A rank for being a 3. The hell does that mean? Like, it was a super short segment. Could I have even gone up a rank? Being a 3 because of my preset trust in her is already really good. Let's play Ride to Hell Retribution. I've actually never played Ride to Hell. Honestly, I very well probably would buy it if I found it for, like, really cheap. But I don't know how much it costs. I've never seen it at a store. I got other games to play right now. Expect PTSD. Now, see, I know what to expect with Ride to Hell Retribution. I know what the game is. Alright, I think right off the bat, I feel like I can trust this guy. We'll get him. I like the fact that TV Tropes makes a point to say, like, yes, a bunch of players guessed that this guy was going to be the villain. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like, can you see him? Legitimately, the only way he could be more obvious is if he was Seymour from Final Fantasy X. You play to be understood. Now, see, again, I'm sure that there are definitely elements of the game that you can only truly understand if you play it. But, I mean, I've seen various reviews on it. Like, I saw Angry Joe's, I saw Pro Jared's, I saw, it was played on Steam Train a while. Okay, here's just a weird thing about the Japanese language in general. They don't, like, if they have an abbreviation like WLOF there, they don't say each letter individually like we would in English. They say it like one word. So if you listen whenever the characters are talking, you just hear them go Wolof. And the weird part is the term still pops up several times in the sequel anime, but they don't ever end up actually saying Wolof. It's weird. Oh, it's just common knowledge. All right, well, the way to make me feel bad. Hello, certainly normal-looking person. Who the hell are you? Kamiyama, you can talk back, man. I am the captain of this place. What happens if I do say cat paradise? Like, I mean, I'd be giving him the magazine, so he'd clearly see I bought the right thing. So let me use the computer already, for God's sakes. I just want to be able to tell you what that is so I can start doing shit on my own time. She's upstairs. Nothing else going on? Now, it's worth noting that the theater has a couple secret events. I don't know what any of them are. I just know they exist, and I'm not going to have like my finger on the guide the entire time I'm playing. Have you considered Nobunaga's ambition? I'm aware of the game, but I'm not really a fan of like those turn-based strategy games. The closest I've ever come to playing it was I rented Pokemon Conquest once, and I didn't enjoy it. The question for you is, have you ever considered the anime Ninja Girl and Samurai Master? So that's basically all of my knowledge about Oda Nobunaga, and it's a fantastic anime. It's honestly not that hard to watch because it's a series of shorts. It's really funny. Those are real thick pieces of paper. Again, it's really good. You can easily watch it in a weekend. Can't imagine things are too much different on the team status. So I'm just going to tell you right now, if I ever play a game involving Nobunaga, it would most likely be Onimusha. Even then, I'm not really all that interested in playing Onimusha. Sakura and Hatsu are a lot shinier than Anastasia is. They got those shiny cheeks. Anastasia doesn't really. Oh, so there's a chance we won't suck this time? Yeah! Hey, wait, what? Oh, well, I got some bad news for you. Acting lessons generally last a lot longer than the couple days before the next show comes around. She legitimately looked surprised that I called out to her for a split second there. Coffee nut. Okay, I'd be very curious to say how this reminds you of hot coffee, because this is actually, I mean, I understand Anastasia's costumes a bit, but honestly, this game is actually pretty tame, all things considered. Yeah, I know what hot coffee is. I just don't see the comparison you're making. It's true they need to hone their skills. Quite frankly, they're terrible. That's Anastasia's reaction as soon as she sees them talking. As soon as she sees their acting. That was so terrible. I think you gave me cancer. Okay, let me move the mic back because I'm peeking it a bit too often. I'm curious with because OBS, my volume just goes, like the volume bar just turns completely red when I peak the audio. Does it like manually cut it out, or does it just sound really distorted? I have no idea what it sounds like. Because if it cuts out, then I really need to be careful. That's the worst. I will give you the bare minimum of instruction. You suck. That's about minimum. Ace Attorney. See, Ace Attorney I'm a lot more familiar with. I wouldn't really say too much of an Ace Attorney comparison. Aside from the fact that it's a lot of dialogue, but that describes a lot of games. Now, I'm just curious now about your thought process that you're thinking like, oh, this is like hot coffee. No, wait, Ace Attorney. Like they're somehow similar. Though, although, Fragrance of Hot Coffee, the song from Ace Attorney, that is a solid song. Just a side note, if you've never heard the Gyakuten Jazz album version of Fragrance of Hot Coffee, which I feel like most people probably have because it's got like 10 million views on YouTube. But that is a great rendition of the song. And one of these days, if I ever decide to look into how the hell you do it, I'm going to make Godo's ringtone my phone ringtone. The reason it's such a low priority is because I have my phone's always on vibrate. I just hate the sound of a ringing phone. So I always have it on vibrate so it doesn't actually really bother me. Oh, hang on. A chance to talk to Taru. I might have a chance to get back into her good graces. Come on. Alright. Yeah, sure. I'm no less busy than you, I'm sure. Whatever. No dawdling. See, this thing is timed like it's actually a problem. Like, they told me outright, go to the store and then go down to the bath. Like, so long as I hold down the R2 button to run, there is absolutely no threat of me failing here. I mean, I guess you kind of got to mash through the dialogue. Because the timer is still running throughout all of that. But yeah, let's go. Yeah, I got time. Hey, cool. Okay, maybe I don't exactly have time. Go. And I don't even have to go down to the bath. So it's like Yakuza 0. Yeah, Yakuza might be a decent comparison, because I have at least heard that there was inspiration from Yakuza in the development of this game. But I can't say anything for certain, because I don't know Yakuza. I was saying earlier, like, I'm curious about Yakuza. At some point, I should at least buy Yakuza 0. Let's do it. The correct answer is supposed to be just ask. Because you just say, like, hey, I brought you the supplies. All right, I'm leaving. Here we go. This is my reward for the fact that she immediately punched me out before she got in the bath last time. Ah, she's beautiful. I'll leave the cleaning stuff here. Like there's nothing weird. See, I wish that was how his voice actor delivered it. Like, he just says it like totally normal. Like, he walks in, sees her in the bath, like, all right, I'll leave the supplies. I'm leaving. Like, just completely unfazed would be amazing. I can't. It's burning. Yeah, I'll forget everything. Yeah, trust me. See, now that line's sort of weird because it's supposed to be like, why did it have to be you? Like, it's supposed to imply, like, she likes you and it's like you're crushed seeing you naked. Like, all right, fine, it's supposed to be. But I'm like the only guy here. So it honestly makes just as much sense. Like, yeah, if it was a girl, it wouldn't have mattered. All right, so anyway, there should be some bromide sitting around. There's at least one. Yeah, okay, there's one down there. Is there a third one around somewhere? I don't see it. Okay, well, I'll head down to the hangar. There's one down there. See, if you can even call it soft corn. What soft core? All right, hang on. First things first. I'm going to hereby petition that we refer to softcore porn as soft corn. But whatever. Anyway, if you can even call it softcore, what we just saw is as lewd as this game ever gets. Aside from Anastasia. Alright. New opponent for you to challenge. Azumi. Yeah. Azumi is already unlocked. Like, that message really should not pop up in New Game Plus. Okay, so I gotta talk to a couple people. Am I sure there's not another one here? Hang on, I've got a guide up. Let me just check. Okay, I got that. Down the right side of the hallway between all the girls' rooms on the second floor. At the end of the top sofa, faces a second. Is that one? Between all the girls' rooms, like up there? Is that what they were talking about? Maybe I got that one. Which one was it? I just want to be sure I have it. Globelia Carlini S23. Okay, do I have that one already? S23. Yes, I do. Okay. Anime game, I will not let this not include at least one suggestive scene. Yeah, like I said, I mean, you can go into the baths. You just ain't going to see that much. Don't worry, if you really want to see things, the internet does exist. This game wasn't crazy popular, so there's not a bunch of it, but some does exist. Bye. Yeah, bye. I'm an addict. See, Azumi, I think I own every one that you can buy from the store. I feel like the only one of hers I'm missing at this point is the one for, I can't even tell you, because we haven't gotten introduced to it yet. Yama, the mountain. I'll try. And then like, the conversation just ends there. Like, Azumi has no tolerance for you messing up the ninja password. So, you don't have to tell me about dating sims. I know all about dating sims. Over the last week, I was playing a lot of Hatoful Boyfriend. I got every ending, including... I finally saw what the true ending was about. I've heard people talk about it for years, but I never heard any specifics. Finally saw it for myself. Holy shit, it was something. Play Hatoful Boyfriend. It's really good. That true ending is absolutely batshit. There's actually no wrong answer here, but I bet there's a secret door. The Ninja Mansion. I'm aware. It's actually right below my feet. I'm curious if any of her costumes have smaller sleeves that make that, like, putting away the kunai effect look absolutely terrible. What else? Talk to her, and that's it? Alright, cool. Let me just look one more time. I'm not missing any bromides. I don't think they ever put them, like, underneath a character icon, so I don't have to worry about missing them that way. Hello again, Itsuki. See, despite the fact that she gives us something that's relevant to our main quest, it's only a side thing for some reason. I just walk up to Sakura, stand next to her completely silently, and then just break the silence. Like, you think if I jumped over this barrier, I'd die? See, I'm hoping that one day we get a game with dialogue choices that extensive so that I can truly play as myself. I just walk up to people and say the weirdest shit. You think if I walked over here, I'd die? Yeah. Yep, we good. I think we have enough time to get through this chapter tonight. I'm legitimately remembering there's a decent bit left. It's so weird to come back to this after playing the first game because some of those sections go by really fast. The gameplay sections take a while because they're a turn-based strategy game. Like everything outside of it. It almost felt like homework at first, though. Oh wow, actually, she didn't like that. Yeah, I feel again, just like using my normal intuition, I feel like her bad answer would have been, "Yeah, I probably know it better than you." Huh. So that's exactly what it is with this sort of game. Like, I understand I'm not all that good at social things, but sometimes I really do feel like I don't know what the right answer would be. Which, I mean, I understand that's realistic. Like, you don't always know what, like, go, what's going to go over best with people. But, games like this do still sort of fuck up with that. Like, literally, I say, like, I learned a lot. And he goes into all that. But then him saying, like, yeah, I felt like it was homework at first. Like, that is completely unrelated to the dialogue choice I chose, and I lost points with Sumire because of it. The only reason it's not so bad is I feel like Sumire is one of those characters that's not that hard to have a positive opinion of you. Like, I had her on my intermission screen pretty early. Okay, so now we've unlocked every area in the game that we're allowed to walk around. Find out. So we can do that. However, first off, let me just be sure. That didn't, like, respawn in any specific... Nah, okay. Okay, then. Fine, then. However, I am going to take the time to head out of the theater because now that I've unlocked all of these areas, never mind. I was going to say something, but I was going to make a point, but no, okay, nah, game is going to make absolutely sure I got to do this stuff first. How you doing, Claris? I'm just imagining, like, I select that option, like, yeah, I'll check in on her. But then you see him just standing outside the door being quiet. Like, it just does that little bit, and then he's just like, yeah, never mind. And then it ends and it goes to the intermission screen. Like, yeah, we're good. It's done. All right, real forward woman. Oh, okay, research, huh? So it's just homework, is that it? I've never been in love or even been on a date. Yeah, well, same here, so I don't think I'll be too much help. Also, just in real life, I'm probably the worst person to have a date with, because I don't even like going places. Like, listen, if I want to spend time with someone that is literally, let's stay home. There you go. All right, I'm making the declaration now. My ideal date is we both stay home. I don't have to look at you. We just play Guilty Gear online. So should I dress up for this date? All right, how we doing? Well, we're still nowhere. God damn it. I did one good thing for Kaoru. When is she going to be on my screen? I've barely even met the other characters that are supposed to be there. And Yui, like, I checked the a guide for that sort of stuff. Like, I am, like, right at the perfect. Like, the first two answers I picked, I was totally correct. So I clearly have more time to worry about Yui, and then I still have to worry about Margaret. Cows are going to be a constant problem. And then once we're all done there, we all good. I'll have them all. I like the fact that it's everyone tailing us except the ninja. Asmi knows better. She's like, yeah, you know, listen, I really don't care. Yeah, but now you're here with a person. So the experience is different. So again, that's going to be one of my... That's going to be my other kind of date. It's like, yeah, I go to game stores all the time, but specifically because it's a date, we're going to go out of our way to go to a special one that's sort of out of the way and wouldn't go to normally. Are you absolutely sure a flea market is not like perfect date material? Did it? That feels like something you do on a date. Like, no, as a tall man myself, that's just something you're asked to do. It's like, I can't reach it. It's like, all right, I got it. Like, that's honestly pretty normal. Oh, my prep paid off. What are you surprised about? That's an actual book. Like, yeah, self-help books are normal. I don't know, maybe they weren't in 1940? I don't know. You gotta love how they specifically animate the light in her eyes. It's the only thing on the screen animated. The finger. My boy. This piece is what all true warriors strive for. What kind of books do you? It's nice to get in touch with with my inner bookworm. Oh, what kind of books do you read? I don't really like books. Option. I also very well could have picked porn, which probably would have been realistic. Wasn't this fucking try hard? Did I get positive points for that? I think I did. But that is such like a liar thing to say. Like, oh, I love so many. It's hard to narrow it down. Like, listen, man. It'd be great if we saw them telling us like Sakura and Hatsuho lean out of the sweet shop. Hatsuho has something in her mouth. Oh. What do you suppose people do on dates? Now do I ask her to mate with me? Third date! We could get married. Yeah, you know what? Yes. That's an interesting date. Gee, oh wow, that was actually the right answer. I think she's getting a little too into it. I think it's very clear that I was joking. Okay, there we go. And then I lost points out of that. So is that just a neutral choice then? See what? That's another thing of like the this like limitations of dialogue choices. Like I select let's get married, talking about on a like what do people do on a date. Like I think it's pretty clear I was joking. You know, jokes don't always go over well, but I think it's pretty clear that I was having a laugh. I was making a gag. Gonna get mad at me for it. It led me to an idea that I had when I was playing this game. Like, it'd be great if like certain options were like flagged as this is a joke answer. Like the character is meant to be joking when they say it. And maybe early on, characters do get on your case for not being serious and just treating everything like a joke. But as the game goes on and you keep selecting those options, they all come to realize, like, okay, this is just the kind of guy he is. And it stops like, you don't get negative points from it anymore. Yeah. I'm sorry to say, Claris, but I have ridden this Ferris wheel in this game, and you weren't the person I rode it with. Again, like, they put the question marks above her name. Like, she's already on screen. We can clearly see who it is. Like, we can clearly see it's Yui before she even says anything. Like, why put her name tag as question? I'm really not sure I'm properly dressed for a place like this. What is this about, Yui? What do you think it's about? I'm trying to get money. No, I can't be here yet. I haven't beaten arcade mode, never continuing, and then fought M-Bison 10 rounds in a row without any of us taking damage. I must defeat Shenlong in order to stand a chance. Is that the sort of thing you should just be yelling? It's the secret base of the Shanghai Combat Review. I will yell in this restaurant with several people. Each combat review has their own style, despite the fact that every single one we've seen in the game prior to this has been in performance. Like the original Imperial Combat Review, the Paris, New York, like the new one, they all work out of a theater. And then just suddenly they're like, yeah, these guys work in a restaurant. Which does very well open up the possibility of games, any potential future games having a different style. Like they don't have to go with the theater one forever. Although at the same time, those are very big flames. I'd be very amazed if none of that was burned. Also, I'm very amazed that this place hasn't burnt down. That is a lot of food for 2 people. It just smells so good. Well, maybe you should take a bite of it. So you guys ready for one of those anime tropes I just can't stand anymore? This shit. Like, oh, it's so good. Like, calm down, dude. It's food. I've eaten good food before. It's not worth getting... Like, the most reaction you should have to eating something delicious is, like, eyes widening, a smile, and be like, yeah, that's good. Like, nothing even close to this, alright? It's the same thing with that trope Evangelion started, where it's like, you know, you chug down the beer and you're like, ah! It's like, it's a drink. I've drunk things before. Never alcohol, though. I don't like it, but... Like, I've had a drink before. You drink it, and then you put it down. Like, that's it. That's how it goes. Yeah, but anyway, this is the point I was getting into last week. Like, Xiaolong and Yui are being extremely friendly to us, considering one chapter before they were beating up Sakura. Like, they turned around real fast. Almost like that earlier scene was really badly written. We live in the... It didn't feel like a date in the classical sense. Well, we live in the modern year of 1940. A date can mean anything nowadays. You just put on the Ninja Sex Party song, First Date. That's basically it. Okay, so is this, like, supposed to be a character? Because there's a mysterious fortune teller here, hiding underneath the tent. You can come back here at, like, any time in the game to talk to her. And I don't know if it's, like, is it like Zelda? I don't think it's like Zelda, where they give you hints on what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe it's just, like, foreshadowing future events in the game. But I really never came back here. And I 100% have the option to be like, yeah, no. Like, get out of here. Alright, but sure. Like, I don't believe... Fuck off, I don't believe in that makeup shit. You reading Pokemon names? Oh yeah, I knew that. Hmm. Wow. I never would have guessed. You know what? I'm just not going to say anything. No. It's not what I was being silent for. Okay, but she doesn't get mad about it. All right, I appreciate that. It's like, oh, okay. I may not love you, but I certainly don't hate you. Really, that's about all I can ask for. You tolerate me. You really, really tolerate me. That's really about the best I can ask for in life. That's basically what school was like for me. It's like I didn't really have friends. People didn't like me, but everyone basically left me alone. So is this supposed to be foreshadowing? Because I can't think of anything in the game that relates to that fortune. The camera just slammed right into that light fixture. Oof, man. I like that girl the people who are walking by do look at him a little bit. They turn their heads to look a little, but none of them stop. None of them care. Like, yeah, he looks normal. He doesn't really stick out. See, now, if this was the game that took place in New York, I'd totally believe it. Like, you show me a game of a weird guy walking around New York and no one paying attention. I understand that. I've been to New York. I understand what it's like. Yeah, really well hidden there, guys. Is it normal for them to be so fulfilling? I mean, that's sort of the intent. So, I'll say yes. But really, I don't have a frame of reference, so I can't say anything for sure. I'm amazed they were even like kneeling down in a way they could still be seen when Claris started turning around. They were just weird, I think. So how did that happen? Like that like barrier is as tall as she is. How in the hell did that happen? Well, that's a shame. It's like, well, I'm still gonna die, though. The kid's just like, you can fly, mister? Oh, yeah. So Claris has magical powers? Maybe I'm not super familiar with this series, but honestly, magic still feels kind of weird. And I say that as someone who's played the first game and is fully aware of Iris's psychic powers. Okay, I'm disappointed. Komachi saying, what's got you all rustled up? Could have absolutely gone with what's rustling your jimmies. Claris, there's something we need to talk about. First things first, what the hell was that? Because really, I don't know. First thing he says to her is like, you know this girl can do magic? Some crazy shit. I like that even in this fantasy 1940 world, they still have that lamp with the green dome over it. Like, that is such a normal office thing. Like, I am so used to seeing that. Is she just hungry? God, the more I see these reactions, the more I really want to do a total dickhead run. But honestly, I'd feel, even if it doesn't have any tangible reaction, it'd be good. I would feel so bad, just like hearing all those negative chimes. He knows a little bit about word roots. That's good. Yeah, it'd be great if one of, like, they gave you a dialogue option. Kamiyama's reaction is just, "That's the coolest shit." If you don't think that's the tightest shit, then get out of my face. Yes. Azumi just showed up. It's like, I have no idea what happened today. What are you all talking about? I'm going to assume that Azumi was following us the whole time, but she's such a good ninja that we never noticed. Like, even the game didn't know. That's my assumption. Because everyone else had reason to follow us. I don't see why Azumi would be any different. Alright, only one thing left to do. Get the battering ram. I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my authority as your captain by coming in anyway. Just breaks the door down. A scriptwriter in the middle of a traumatic breakdown. Alright, we're gonna have to ad-lib a show. You guys have all seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, right? Hope you're prepared to do like 3 hoedowns. If you say what should we do, you get negative points because they're like, you're asking us, man. I'll keep trying to talk to her as many times as it takes. I hope it's no more than 3, though, because if it is, I am going to bust that door down. Okay, so let's see. There should be some bromides. Or not. Am I sure? I understand. This has got to be somewhat annoying that I just keep scrolling through here. But man, like I need to know. I don't think so, though. Okay, good. Claris, I'm not sure if you realize this, but magic is the coolest shit. Why are you so upset about this? Is about how magic is the coolest shit. Because that's really the only thing I have to say. I know everything. Could I use them too? Need I reiterate, magic is awesome. Allow me to carry that burden. As if I want to be romantic, I could have phrased it like that. Yeah, so, Claris's family in the past was basically like real-life Dynasty Warriors characters, where their magic was strong enough to take down armies. Which, again, only reiterates my rad stance. Oh, look at that shiny sleeve on Kamiyama. Damn. Man got drip. Okay, I was going to make a comment earlier about how Sakura and Hatsuho should have just been, like, spying on this conversation as well. I forgot that they are. You only saw them a little bit, but they were in the background. There they are. Hi, guys. So I feel like they would have noticed if they went through the door like we did. Did they climb out the window to get out here? Or were they waiting out here for us? Like they just had the idea that we'd be out here. Or did they just live out here? Can't say anything for certain. They say the pen is mightier than the sword, but frankly, that's a little bit bullshit. A sword is cool. You could stab someone with a pen like that, though. Those real sharp tips. You absolutely could. And if it's a freshly used pen, you could also give them ink poisoning. Which is good, because a stab from a pen like that would most likely not be lethal. The ink poisoning would incapacitate them, though. You gotta think outside the box. It's like a poison knife. Except it's a normal ink pen. So what, do we have to go on another date? Maybe a date would help you relax. Let's try it again. We're going to do it often enough that the word date is going to become a Pavlovian response for her. Final lines are some of the most crucial. The ending is the most important part. Don't worry about it, Claris. All you gotta do is Evangelion that ending and we good to go. I'll get the box of crayons. Alright, so I just realized I had the page up. I completely forgot to mention it. Because I also forgot to mention it last week. Anastasia is here. She's the last member of the Imperial Combat Review, and she is voiced by Ayaka Fukuhara. Once again, I was scrolling through her. Her filmography. Didn't really see anything of much note. Only thing in there that at least had a. Only thing in there that at least struck a chord with me for a little bit was that she's the voice of Mega Man in Mega Man 11. The Japanese version, though, which I don't know, because I only played the game in English. I admittedly am curious how she is in the role, because she's got a decently deep voice as Anastasia. Which kind of makes me wonder if the Japanese version of Mega Man 11 has the same problem the English version does, where Mega Man's voice is too deep. I probably said this in my Mega Man 11 Shooting Stardust video. I love Ben Diskin. I think he's a great voice actor. I just don't think he was a good choice for Mega Man. Who wants a field trip to the beach? Alright, no need to get poetic there, Anastasia. Let's go. This time I'll show you my A game. Are you sure? Those look a lot bigger than A's. Alright then, it's looking like we are going to finish tonight right on time. There's an Adam Sandler voicing Mega Man for a Mega Man movie. I understand what the knee-jerk reaction to hearing Adam Sandler's name is supposed to be. I've really never seen anything he's done. Though there is that Mega Man movie that's apparently still happening, I think. It was put into question because Fox had the rights, and it was put into question when Disney bought them. But I think last we heard that Mega Man movie was still happening. Now, I'm sure it's going to go into that line of all those video game movies that, like, yeah, they're in development, but they're basically never going to happen. I'm honestly amazed that we apparently are getting that Metal Gear Solid movie. That the Uncharted movie already started filming. It might be done by now. Tom Holland's playing Nathan Drake. I think at one point we had heard that the Mega Man movie, like there was a possibility it was going to be rated R, and I'm like, that sounds like the most terrible idea, and please God let it happen. All right, ram that thing. That can't possibly cause any problems. I mean, aside from the fact that it's apparently made of glass. Which I'd feel real nervous about breaking through a dome of glass in a blimp. Because, you know, one of those shards pierces the balloon. You're really screwed. Yeah, let's go. Alright, so, into a new combat section. Claris is going to be our partner for this mission. Because this is, despite the fact that everyone's here, Claris is going to be our partner. Because, I mean, this mission's about her. It's her character. Claris and Anastasia are sort of the special ones in terms of all the partners you can have, because they primarily fight using ranged attacks. So they're really the only characters who I would honestly switch to under certain circumstances. Because there are certain obstacles that are going to appear in this mission where having a ranged attack is really nice. It makes things a lot easier. Okay, battery low. I got half an hour. Please last. My cable is still completely wrapped from when I first unboxed my PS4. I would really rather not have to like sit literally 2 inches away from my TV in order to play. I also don't want to unwrap the cord. Yep, hang on, it's fine. I'm dealing with this thing. Now, however, you may notice that when you're not controlling a partner, they really do not deal that much damage. Like, you see in there, Claris's projectiles are all doing 8 damage, while my basic sword swipes are doing 158. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't mention this before. Despite the fact that we are completely broke, everyone got updated mechs. We are now all piloting Mugens. Yeah, listen, if you're gonna be all dramatic like this, Claris, come on. I will have to say, trying to use these projectiles to break these stationary crystals that don't move is very much a problem, because they don't lock onto them. It can be very difficult to hit them. I'm only going to use her until I can fill up her super meter, at which point we good. And we're almost there anyway. Yeah, those guys pop up in a way you can't really hit them. But of course, we have a projectile character, so theoretically we can kill those demons over there. Which of course increases the like the amount of damage dealt for the stage. And the auto lock on when it comes to taking down enemies is pretty good. Okay. Now back to Kamiyama, who I just instantly feel more comfortable playing as. We don't have time for this. I mean, we're not really on a time limit. We very well might have time for this. Listen, Claris, hiding your power, denying it is not controlling it. All you're doing is denying a part of yourself. By the way, if you are worried about like always making sure you're in sync, taking care of enemies so you don't get that lone wolf negative penalty, aside from the projectile characters, they never, ever, the AI never attacks an airborne target. So if you're just going to focus on all of the airborne guys like you really should, then you're putting yourself at risk for that negative penalty. Okay, I somehow was too late on that dodge, and he managed to still miss me. And meanwhile, she was still taking care of a tiny grunt. I took care of the guy who just one stage ago was a boss. And I understand Claris is refusing to use her libromancy, but man. Yeah, but see, we're fighting demons, so if you do horrible things to destroy them, then it's like a double negative, and it turns out good. You get positive karma out of that. There's nothing cursed about them. It's like all those people who post images online and say cursed image. They're not really cursed. Most of them honestly aren't even that weird. Except for the demons. Most of them probably die screaming in agony when they fight us. And according to my playthroughs of Doom, that's totally okay. Yeah, so just continue being dead weight, Claris. We got this. Oh, there we go. Rank 8. I can even get us even higher into rank 8 before leaving this room. There you go. We're already almost halfway to the way to rank 9. Okay, so this is the point where Claris and Anastasia and other levels is really useful. Because these things fire projectiles and they're suspended in the air in real awkward places. Having projectiles helps out a lot. Now, okay, now here's one thing that does admittedly confuse me. Like, Claris is refusing to use her Libromancy, fine. And they do indeed take advantage of that by not allowing her to use her more powerful attacks. But what the hell even is her basic attack at this point? Like, she's still holding out her book, firing balls of magic with the, like, with the magic circle popping up. Like, she's clearly still using Libromancy. Sometimes you get lucky about her taking those things out on her own. Oh god, that was a little bit bright there. Ow. Oh wow, my morale went down because I actually took a decent amount of damage there. No, this one, please. But not, no, while I'm in the air. Just take care of it. Are they all dead? Let's go. Ugh. Okay. And then that thing happening there. You fall when you fall down. There's not really a penalty for falling and dying. Like, you respawn somewhat nearby. You don't even lose any health for it. However, because of that, I feel like it's a pretty worthless thing. It's like, yeah, you just respawn and then that's the end of it. The thing is, not only do sometimes you respawn kind of far back, but also it takes a good while for you to actually stand back up. And it can be real awkward because of that, because it just feels like it's wasting time. Honestly, I feel like it would have been better if, like, you just couldn't fall off the edges, because there's never any point. Oh shit, it's that rabbit guy from Sakura Wars 3. That Imperial combat rejects. That was uncalled for. Okay, so this is Oboro. He is absolutely not the primary threat of the game. However, he's the boss you end up fighting the most. Like, even after the point where we establish the characters that rank above him, like, we continue to fight him several times. And it's not even like he's the dragon to any of them. He's just kind of here. I'm not even 100% sure he's allied with some of these other characters. They really never interact. It'd be great if Oboro just had nothing to do with anybody else. He just happens to somehow be the guy we have to deal with the most. And despite the fact that he always wears that hood with the mask over it, you can still see his eyes underneath it. But I'm not sure even if you, like, deal with him in, look at that zoom out, like, they're trying to say, like, oh, there's just so many enemies. Like, it's not that many. It's fine. We got this. I ain't worried in the slightest about it. And by the way, those little pools of lava are indeed a hazard you have to worry about. Once again, I really don't understand the point. Because, like, it doesn't deal that much damage, and they're easy enough to avoid. So, like, why even have it? Honestly, the only reason you're likely to fall into it is you happen to, like, go above it when you're fighting a guy. Like this guy here who's just right above it, so unless I switched over to my projectile character, which I absolutely could have done. Okay, hold on. These guys are really the ones I want to worry about first, because everyone else is fighting them. Which just leads me to being blinded to the bigger threat, and leads to me taking damage. But hey, there we go. I'm up. I made it to rank 10. Yeah, that's the way I like it, Hatsuho. These things again. Alright, kill them. God, yeah, like you can see it right here. The frame rate does not hold up super well. Is this some sort of game to you? Yeah, it's called Sakura Wars 2019. It's a pretty good game. Oh yeah, I'll flex. I'll flex all over you. I could say, they only give me one choice, but I could say nothing. Oh, listen to that triumphant music. Yeah, there's no chance I'm ever going to get sick of hearing this tune throughout the game. Yeah, so anyway, Claris has spent most of her life afraid of this horrible power that she's held. She's considered it to be the curse of her family lineage, this power to destroy, and that's all that she's ever known it as. It has traumatized her for years, and in the span of one chapter, we have managed to get her completely over it. She is not going to be worried even the slightest bit for the rest of the game. It's easily the worst example of that sort of, like, episodic storytelling. It's the fact that they only spent one episode on it. And so now we get to see Claris' special attack. It's basically just a shot lock from Kingdom Hearts. So is it possible to fuck that up? Like you waste your special attack, and then you don't really have that much of a way to get it? Maybe you can get the orbs back, but it would be really difficult, and it would suck. Alright, let's do it now. If you'll excuse me, back to... Oh, it didn't even waste my... Okay, it didn't even waste my special meter. Interesting. Okay, there's not really any point in breaking any of these at this point, because I've already got full meter. Oh, did you see that? That projectile she had fired before the cutscene started hit one of the enemies. I love when you first spawn into these like enemy rush rooms where they've just got so many guys. It's like, oh, I can really just cut loose in here. Ow. With that kind of power, you're a one-woman army. Yeah, that's exactly the thing she was afraid of all this time, Hatsuho. Thanks for dragging up that trauma for her. Did you say something, Azumi? Like, the only thing she said was that observation of you're holding back. Azumi didn't even really say anything rude, because Azumi is a pure soul. Alright, so this fight here, he's flying throughout the entire fight. So the intent is you're supposed to play as Claris and use your projectiles to take him down. But he has various crystals he puts up to act as diversions and shields so that it's not super easy. Guess what you can do to make this fight completely trivial? I will show you the exact strategy you should be doing because it makes this fight really fast. Like, you have a full super meter before you come in here. Though at the very least, Claris is, like, the realization she comes to come to terms with her power. Time to strike, Sakura! Get away! Anyway, the realization Claris comes to, it's like, yeah, the weapon is evil, but the hand is just. That's very much always been my viewpoint, that there's no such thing as good or evil power. Anything can be used one way or another. I really want to see a story at some point of someone, like, that has, like, a superpower to heal other people, using that for evil. Like, the way I see it, like, the easiest way to break something is to know how to fix it, know how it works. So if someone had, like, a healing power, like the ability to mend and repair flesh and cells, like, imagine them using that power to, like, them using that power to, like, they just have to point at someone, they can cause all their heart cells to immediately die, and they just, like, have a heart attack immediately. Anyway, so this fight here, despite the fact that he's flying in the air, even at the beginning you can easily double jump close enough to hit him with your swords. Because you're close to him, most of his attacks miss. Like, he's got these lasers flying around. It's like, that's cool. I am literally right next to you. You knock him on the ground where he can't attack, and then you just hit him with a super. And this should be enough to completely wipe him out. As long as this all attacks, because he's weakened. Yep. One cycle, no problem. My time bonus is going to be amazing. Like, I can guarantee you I got an S rank on time. Yeah. S. Perfect. Aside from the fact that I didn't kill enough enemies, I guess. Or I didn't deal enough damage. Whatever. I did amazing. And there we go. Oboro is taken care of. Claris has gotten over her years, her lifetime's worth of trauma. All's well that ends well, right? Oh, that's great, Claris, because guess what? Your character development ends here. We really never have to think about you again. Scream! Right, the script. Let's figure out the final lines together. I have a suggestion, and I'm going to workshop it. And then they banged. Hey, that's jealousy. Azumi's already disappeared. Sakura's feeling jealousy to the way we're interacting, which 100% confirms the fact that Sakura has deep feelings for us. So by picking anyone besides her, we're basically just ghosting her. Man. Even in her combat outfit, Azumi's platform shoes are absolutely extra. Okay, Claris doing that Anna finger up to her mouth. I legitimately had to look for a second on who, not Anastasia, but who that was. Like, with the wig, I couldn't tell for a second. It is Sakura. Oh, now that's hot. It's magic. See, they see our sets changing instantaneously, and then the audience just calls it witchcraft. It's great. For the first time in a long time, there was applause in those seats. We'll have enough funds to keep operating for the time being, which is good, because we gotta pay for those Mugens. Congratulations, we're back in the red. Once that's all taken care of. With these costumes, Anastasia's normal outfit is more show-offy than her stage costume. It could have used more Polish? I mean, I guess regional ethnic diversity is very important. Actually, yeah, could be better. I'll be nice. It'd be great if that gave you, like, positive points with Claris. Saying, like, yeah, it could have been better. She's like, yeah, you understand. Honestly, no, I could totally see it working. Like, it could have been better. Like, and then he continues on to say, like, I will gladly work on your next one with you. And then you'd get positive points for that. Like, that would actually, like that. And meanwhile, if you picked, like, you're our star writer, you'd get, like, neutral or negative. Because she's like, please don't overhype me. Accountable. I'll tell you when you're older, Sakura. I don't know, we took him down pretty quick. I wouldn't call him greater. He was not greater than me. I was saying earlier how weird it is to picture the idea that Hiromi is someone's favorite who's played this game. I could very much say the same thing about Kaoru. Like, I'm sure there's someone out there that was like, yes, God, I wish that I could romance Kaoru. I'm sure there's someone out there, but it's probably a very small group. And I'm sure there's plenty of other people playing the game like, I can't imagine anyone who likes Komachi. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, it's me. She's the best. All the Bowser's airships are flying in. Yeah, so on the plus side, all of the other combat reviews will be showing up next time, so we got plenty more characters to introduce. God, what a perfect time to end a stream. Like, we finished the chapter, we are done, and like we're perfect 3 hours. How amazing. Yeah, every single one of them is good with me. Ain't that great? I just need to get some more of you people over here. Alright, so that'll be the end of this week. My controller battery lasted. Ain't that great? And next week we will be continuing on. It looks like we are on a good pace of 1 chapter a week. Which means this will probably take like 7 more weeks or something. But we'll have to see if that pace continues next time on Sakura Wars with the festival.